When you whisper prayers at night and hear only silence, it can feel personal. You wonder if God stepped back right when you needed Him most. If your heart feels tired, hopeful yet bruised, this quiet may not be absence. It may be something gentler than you can imagine now. You have waited longer than you planned, loved deeper than you expected, and trusted through unanswered seasons. The silence hurts because your faith is real. If you are still believing, still aching, this message is for the quiet strength you carry every day, even when nobody else sees it clearly. There is a particular kind of tiredness that does not come from work or age. It comes from holding hope for a long time, from praying carefully chosen words, from believing quietly while carrying disappointment you rarely speak about. You smile, function, care for others, and still feel empty inside. You may wake up already weary. Not because life is dramatic, but because it is steady and demanding. Responsibilities continue. People need you. Faith is expected of you. Yet inside, something feels thin, fragile. You are not falling apart. You are worn down. There are moments when you want to talk to God, but your heart feels crowded. Thoughts overlap. Emotions sit heavy. You do not doubt His existence. You simply do not know how to reach Him right now. Silence feels confusing, sometimes painful. You might wonder why prayer feels harder than it used to be, why tears come faster, why waiting has stretched longer than you imagined. You are not weak for feeling this way. You are human. You are faithful. And you are tired. This quiet ache does not mean you have failed spiritually. It means you have been carrying weight for a long time without much rest. And that matters. Even strong women reach limits. Even steady faith feels heavy sometimes. What you feel today deserves kindness, not correction. You are allowed to pause here, breathe slowly, and admit that waiting has shaped you more deeply than anyone ever noticed, including God, who sees quietly always. Many women carry guilt about feeling this way. You may tell yourself you should be more grateful, more trusting, more patient. You remind yourself others have it worse. Yet your heart does not respond to logic. It responds to lived experience. Waiting seasons can quietly drain joy. Not because you lack faith, but because uncertainty is exhausting. When prayers remain unanswered, your mind searches for reasons. Did I miss something? Did I pray wrong? Did I disappoint God? These questions creep in softly. It is important to say this clearly. Feeling tired does not mean you are ungrateful. Feeling confused does not mean you are faithless. Feeling discouraged does not mean you are failing God. These emotions are signals, not sins. Scripture is full of faithful people who waited longer than they wanted. People who cried. People who questioned. People who kept showing up with heavy hearts. God did not shame them for their honesty. He met them there. You are allowed to be honest too. You do not need to perform strength. You do not need perfect words. You do not need to compare your pain with someone else's story. What you carry matters because you carry it. There is relief in knowing you are not unusual. You are not broken. You are responding normally to prolonged hope and delayed answers. And that response deserves gentleness, not judgment. Shame often grows in silence. When you name your feelings, their weight shifts. God is not measuring your endurance. He is present within it. You do not have to earn compassion. You are already held within it, even on days belief feels thin. This understanding gives your heart room to rest again, slowly, without fear of spiritual failure or rejection from the God who knows you completely, patiently, and lovingly present. Silence from God can feel like distance, but silence is not the same as absence. In many spiritual moments, God works beneath the surface, where noise would only distract. Quiet does not mean He has turned away. It often means He is close enough to whisper. Throughout faith history, God has met people in stillness. Not always with answers, but with presence. Not always with clarity, but with companionship. The heart learns differently in quiet spaces. It learns trust without constant reassurance. Sometimes God grows us internally before changing circumstances externally. He tends to the roots before the fruit appears. This process is gentle, slow, and often unseen, especially by others, especially by you. If God answered every prayer immediately, there would be little space for deep transformation. Waiting stretches your inner life. It teaches surrender without shame, dependence without panic, faith without constant proof. This does not mean your prayers are ignored. It means they are received with care. God is not rushed. He is attentive. He listens even when you run out of words. Especially then. In the quiet, God notices what the world overlooks. Your endurance. Your tears. Your continued choosing of faith, even when it costs you comfort. Silence becomes a shelter, not a punishment. You may not feel Him loudly, but you may sense Him steadily. Like breath. Like light through curtains. Close. Patient. Present. His nearness does not depend on your emotional awareness. He remains the same in your uncertainty. The quiet season may actually be a sacred invitation to rest, to listen, and to be held without having to understand everything immediately. This is where trust matures slowly, gently, and safely, beyond performance, beyond noise, beyond fear, and into a deeper knowing of love that does not withdraw when you wait for answers. There is a moment in waiting when resistance softens. Not because answers arrive, but because your heart grows tired of fighting. This is often where healing begins. Not dramatic. Not loud. Just quiet acceptance. You stop demanding clarity and start allowing presence. You breathe a little deeper. You let God sit with you instead of fixing everything. This shift is sacred. It opens space for comfort. God's presence does not rush you forward. It settles beside you. It meets you where you are, not where you think you should be. In this gentle closeness, your nervous system rests. Your thoughts slow. Your soul exhales. Healing here looks like permission. Permission to feel what you feel. Permission to stop explaining yourself. Permission to trust that being held matters more than being understood. You may sense peace in small ways. A calm moment. A softened prayer. A release of tension you did not realize you were carrying. These are not coincidences. They are care. God works quietly within your inner world. He tends the bruised places with patience. He does not scold your exhaustion. He honors your endurance. You are not being reshaped into someone else. You are being gently restored to yourself. Loved. Seen. Safe. This restoration is slow by design. It respects your history. It moves at the speed of trust. Nothing is forced. Nothing is taken. Even silence becomes nurturing when it is shared with a God who stays, listens, and understands your unspoken needs. You are allowed to receive this care without fixing yourself first or proving your faithfulness again. This is healing that feels like rest, not effort, and safety, not pressure. Here, your heart learns it can soften and survive at the same time, with God remaining close and kind through every unanswered moment still present. Waiting is often misunderstood as weakness, but it can be a form of quiet strength. It means you have not given up, even when answers delay. You are still choosing faith without guarantees. Sometimes waiting is protection. God may be shielding you from timing that would harm you, or outcomes that would overwhelm you. What feels like delay may be care you cannot yet see. Preparation often happens in hidden places. Your character deepens. Your compassion grows. Your boundaries become clearer. These changes matter more than quick results. Quiet strength does not push. It remains steady. It allows life to unfold without forcing conclusions. This kind of strength is gentle. It carries wisdom. You do not need to rush your season. You do not need to make meaning before it arrives naturally. Peace grows when you stop demanding explanations and start trusting process. God is not asking you to endure endlessly without support. He is present within the waiting, offering steadiness rather than urgency. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where growth is happening. Strength here looks like staying open, staying kind, staying honest, even when you feel tired, especially then. This strength is not loud or impressive. It does not seek recognition. It simply continues to love, to hope, and to trust in small daily ways that quietly shape your future. Waiting can refine discernment. It teaches you what truly matters. It removes pressure to perform spiritually and replaces it with peace rooted in being known. This peace holds you steady through uncertainty and reminds you that God is not in a hurry with your life. You are growing in ways that will make sense later, without rushing today. Quiet strength often looks like continuing to trust tomorrow when today feels unresolved and heavy. If you are listening to this in a quiet moment, let it be enough. You do not need to leave feeling fixed. You do not need conclusions. It is okay to simply feel understood. God's silence does not cancel His care. His quiet does not mean distance. He is near in ways that sustain rather than overwhelm. Near enough to stay. You are not forgotten in your waiting. Your prayers matter, even when they change shape. Even when they become sighs. God hears the language of your heart. There is room for rest here. Room to breathe without expectation. Room to trust that tomorrow does not need your control tonight. You can carry your faith gently. You can release the pressure to be strong all the time. Strength can look like softness. Faith can look like honesty. As you continue forward, know this. God is patient with your process. He is kind to your tired places. He is present in the quiet you fear. You are not alone. You never have been. And you are deeply held. Let this moment settle into you. Carry it gently into the rest of your day. Nothing more is required. God remains with you, quietly faithful, patiently loving, and deeply aware of every step you take. Even in unanswered seasons, His presence is steady, safe, and unchanging. You can rest tonight knowing you are seen and loved. That truth will hold you when words cannot. Stay here as long as needed. You are safe.